This review was sponsored by Wrecking Balls. Trust me, you'll get it in a few minutes. Drive Away Dolls was directed by Ethan Coen and released in theaters last weekend. I went out to see this one, not really expecting much. It's looking like a raunchy comedy, and I'll tell you right off the bat, it is a very raunchy comedy. 2 people walked out of the theater while I was going to see this, which is actually a first for me. I've never been in the theater and someone walks out. 2 people walked out of this movie. We'll get into why in the spoiler section. Drive Away Dolls basically follows, we open the film, let me start off there. Pedro Pascal is this guy, all we get is he's at this bar, and he has this briefcase, he gets attacked in the alleyway. After he leaves, he's like, this guy's not showing up, let me leave. He gets killed, that's not a spoiler, it's in the marketing, it's in the trailers, don't fight me on that, okay? I saw people in the comment section saying, this sucks, I can't believe Pedro Pascal was only in this for like a few minutes. It was like, it's in the trailer that he dies. It's pretty obvious that he dies. Anyway, I love Pedro Pascal. I'm happy to see him in a movie no matter how long he's in it. And basically what he has, that briefcase, ends up in the hands of our 2 protagonists through a mix-up. It's supposed to go to these other guys that are working for Coleman Domingo's character. I'm glad to see him in this. And it accidentally ends up in the hands of our main characters, played by Margaret Qualley and Geraldine Viswanathan. If I'm saying their names wrong, I'm sorry. I'm reading it off of Google. Even though Margaret Qualley, I am familiar with her because she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Cliff Booth in the car asking him to suck him off. So we have these 2 characters, Marion and Jamie, and one is a very free spirit. Jamie, very free spirit. She's wild. She's, let me tell you, right off the bat, you're getting a sex scene, and I was sitting in the theater, I was like, alright, throwing us right into it. And, in contrast to that, Marion is very kind of soft-spoken, very quiet, very shy. She doesn't get around as much as Jamie does. And, it offers a very good dynamic. I gotta say, they are probably the best part of the movie when they have this, their banter back and forth with each other. I love that. It's a very, it's a road trip movie, pretty much. And I love road trip movies. Dumb and Dumber, We're the Millers, Vacation, the Lampoon's Vacation. Those are always fun. So I love those kind of films. And here we get some raunchiness thrown into the mix. Here's where we get to where the sponsor makes sense. I'm just going to say this. Miley Cyrus has a cameo in this. Throughout the movie, it's like these psychedelic, weird flashes of, like, color. Like, it's like you're looking into, like, a lava lamp. Have you ever seen one of those? It's so weird. And like, it's just all these colors, and it's Miley Cyrus. And it doesn't get explained till like later on in the movie what the hell the purpose of that is, but it's pretty funny. I'll get to that in the spoilers, but I just wanted to mention that she is in this. And we also have Matt Damon in here. He is the senator that apparently has to do with this briefcase. He wants to get it back. It's in the trailer. He's like, look, I'm going to give you $1 million if you give this back to me. And, yeah, all around, really, the cast is just really fun. There's definitely some issues there with the editing. I would say the editing isn't as strong as I would have hoped it'd been. There are transitions that are just kind of very, not to discredit me and other people on here, but very YouTuber-like transitions, not very cinematic. The way the story is told, you're like in the middle of a scene, and then they just kind of flash back to something else, to a different scene to give, exposition on what's going on in this part of the story, and then it's back to the same scene you were watching earlier. And that happens a few times in the movie. It was kind of distracting. It can take you out of the experience a few times here. And it's pretty much saved by the dynamic, like I said, between Margaret Qualley and Geraldine Viswanathan. Because their 2 characters are best friends, and they go on this wild adventure together. They get mixed up in this, obviously, this bigger thing that's happening that they didn't know about, but they're given the wrong car, and then they see this briefcase, and it's like, what? It's another thing, by the way. Margaret Qualley does this just, it's so off. Like, anybody that would be from the South would be like, oh, this sucks. This accent is stupid. I think that's the point. I think it's the part of the comedy where she's like, She's like, oh man, we're gonna go on this wild vacation. We're gonna screw our brain, get our brains screwed out, sugar sweet. It's like, what the fuck? Man, just her delivery of lines was hilarious sometimes. So that worked for me, even though I know it probably won't work for others. Understandable. I'm gonna get into spoilers here. I'm not gonna make this review terribly long. I'm gonna give Drive Away Dolls a 7 out of 10. I think it's a very fun film with a bit of, some rough patches along the way in terms of the editing and the storytelling. But it does, it pulls its weight in the comedy and the cast, in my opinion. And I'll get into spoilers more as to why the storytelling didn't work, but yeah, 7 out of 10 for Drive Away Dolls. I would say, look, if you want to go to a raunchy comedy, I will warn you right now, there's a lot of sex, there's a lot of lesbian sex, kissing, whole bunch of stuff there, usage of sexual items. We're all adults here, shit. I don't expect kids to be watching a review of Drive Away Dolls, okay? So, just be warned there. It's very raunchy, but the trailers led into that pretty well. So, go out and see it if you're looking for that. If not, you can wait for digital for this one. I wouldn't blame you. So, yeah, let's get into spoilers. So, entering spoilers, we have what is in this briefcase, okay? That's the biggest thing I can spoil for you. Dildos. Stick with me. Stick with me on this, okay? So, basically, these dildos were made by Miley Cyrus's character with Matt Damon. It's a replica of Matt Damon's dick. It's a Matt Damon dildo, and there's a bunch of other dildos in the briefcase, too. And Coleman Domingo and his guys are meant to take this drive-away car to this meetup point and trade off the dildos with Matt Damon's character to kind of keep this whole thing hush-hush, because he has a family or whatnot. I guess they don't want him to know that he has dildos of his dick made. It's such a, like, I was following the movie, I was like, okay, this is pretty standard raunchy comedy, and it was like, holy shit! Fucking Matt Damon dildos. Oh, man. It was hilarious. So hilarious. And, I was so caught off guard. He gives them the car, unbeknownst to them, they have a briefcase in the back with dildos and also the severed head of Pedro Pascal. Guess Matt Damon wanted the severed head of Pedro Pascal for some reason. I guess to make sure he was dead. I have no clue. That didn't make much sense. But basically, they hear of these two girls that have the briefcase. They go after them. They're sent on a wild goose chase here and there. And eventually they do find them. But it's after Jamie has been using one of the dildos on herself. Because earlier that night, Marion and Jamie, after their differences, they set their differences aside. They're like, look, you're too uptight. And yeah, maybe I am too wild sometimes. But you know what? You need to feel some loving. So I'm gonna give it to you. So Jamie, does the business to Marion. I don't know why I can't say that name. And then the next morning she's like, I just had to get mine too, because Marion falls asleep after she orgasms. Okay, we're all adults here. Okay. And basically, Marion is like, oh, okay, I guess you were just gonna use those dildos after they've been in the briefcase. That's really nice. You don't know where they've been. And then all of a sudden these guys bust in there and is like, we need these dildos. And then they take them hostage, and Coleman Domingo is like, he delivers, hands down, the funniest line out of any movie I've seen this year so far. Ladies, you're a day late and a dick short. Because Marion and Jamie, they leave, since Jamie was using one of the dildos, they leave it behind there when they're taken captive. And Marion and Jamie are like, what the fuck is going on here? And they escape because one of the guys gets pissed at the other guy and shoots him and then kills Coleman because I think one of the conversation was like the guy stuck one of the dildos up the other guy's ass. You have to watch the movie. It's so stupid. But yeah, he just kills Coleman. Coleman Domingo's pretty wasted in this, I'll be honest. I wanted more of him. And it just seemed like they didn't know where they wanted to go, because these guys were a pretty big part of the film, the plot, chasing the girls the whole movie. And then they just get killed, and then the other guy runs away. It's like, that's an abrupt way to end that storyline. So then Marion and Jamie decide that, hey, we're gonna blackmail Matt Damon's character with these dildos in exchange for 1 million smackers. And then this whole time, Jamie's ex-girlfriend, I didn't even mention her in the non-spoiler section, but I don't know. Her character's alright. It's pretty one note. She's just yelling. She's pissed the whole time that Jamie cheated on her. She comes there with this dog. She's like, I'm tired of this fucking dog being in my house. Take it. And then she sees Matt Damon turning back around. He's like, let me finish these girls off and take this $1 million. And then she's like, nope. Kills him. Well, shoots him, sorry. And then it causes this big scandal. This big, it exposes him to the world. And, the girls get to keep the 1 million. And obviously they get, probably some additional money for exposing this guy. It's a very, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's a raunchy movie. It's very wild. But I enjoyed it, okay? Minus the storytelling, just kind of throwing away Coleman's whole thing there. That was weird how they handled that. So, it's a fun enough time, okay? So, go out and see it if you haven't yet, if you want to. If not, just wait to digital. Honestly, it's no rush to see this in the theaters, to be honest with you. But I enjoyed it. So, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Let me know what you thought of Drive Away Dolls down in the comments below. Subscribe for more movie reviews. The next one we've got coming up is Dune Part 2. I'm pumped for that, dude. I can't wait. I just watched the first Dune movie like an hour before filming this. Can't wait for that. See you guys there. Take care, and goodbye.